Hey, Russ.
Hey, G, welcome everyone. If I were your CMO or your primary consultant, what advice would I counsel you to do during COVID 19? Well, let's talk about it next on The Brink.
You're joining a group of entrepreneurs, brand makers, business owners, decision makers, power brokers, and risk takers, where we discuss business and marketing issues with insightful solutions. This is The Brink with your hosts, Russell Sails and George Cartwright, reminding you that your business is either on the brink of extinction or distinction. Welcome.
What's up?
What's up, man? How you
Are you
doing?
on this fantastic Thursday, my brother?
You know what? I'm good. I cannot complain. I am doing good.
Day 95.
Is that what it is?
I don't know. It feels like it. It's hard to read those little check marks on the wall.
Yeah.
Counting down.
I don't know. I haven't been writing on my wall because I just trying to slog through it. But hey, we're here. We made it. It's Thursday.
We are here now, and so are you. Appreciate you guys for joining us on this Thursday on The Brink, a lunchtime discussion that we talk about all things business, marketing, digital. George Cartwright and Russell Sails broadcasting from Atlanta and the Big D, Dallas, Texas. You wouldn't know of that because we're all inside. So you're stuck with us for the next 30 minutes, where today we'll be talking about, if I were your consultant, how would I advise you? I do want to throw this out there before we get started. And, today we will be providing some counsel around what different business types should be doing right now based upon their industry. But you have an opportunity as a business owner to get a customized business and marketing strategy session with OTB Marketing for free. Did you hear that? Free. This 30-minute consultation is regularly valued at $250, but is now being made available to the first 10 businesses that are currently struggling to get their footing because of COVID-19. Or you may just be looking for help navigating these digital waters. So if you own or you know someone who could benefit, if you own a business or know someone who could benefit from a COVID-19 strategy session with us, start by going to www.onthebrinkmarketinggroup.com, signing up for a free snapshot report. And then by doing that, you'll be enrolled for a free 30-minute planning session. Sounds good?
Absolutely.
Cool. So let's jump into it. We know this world that we're in is grappling, and thus the business world as well, is grappling with adjusting to this coronavirus pandemic and how to stay safe. And we at On the Brink encourage everyone to stay safe, stay indoors and away from people as much as possible, but stay connected. But everyone is struggling with that, as well as their businesses are struggling. That's from the CEOs of, large multinational companies to small shop owners to online entrepreneurs are trying to figure out their next steps. So I thought, why don't we play a game today, or role play, if you will, and we'll name some businesses between George and I, and you feel free to throw some in, and we'll handle some there. Where I'll name the business type, and you pop off a few suggestions that you would give to them if you were their consultant. Sounds good? Especially in context of where we are.
Okay, cool.
Everybody's clear with that? So I will start off. If you, or if I, George, if I was a photographer, and I'm used to shooting weddings and events and things like that, what should I be doing right now?
You should be planning for the onslaught. That's what you should be doing. Because after this, people that were going to get married, they had to postpone it. They're still going to get married, right? So you need to be out here, making sure all of these are involved getting your digital life in order, all of them. But you need to be educating potential customers about what to look for in a good photographer. These are things that you should probably have been doing already, but certainly what to look for in a good photographer. What makes good photography at a wedding? You should be putting out some of your work, making sure that your Instagram page that shows some of your work, that is up to date, and that work is out there somewhere. You should be talking to making other connections, actually making other connections with other photographers. And you should also, if you have your business listings need to be up to date. Your website needs to be up to date. Your funnel, packages, how can you help people during this time to be making these decisions by offering them good deals or something extra in their package? You could be doing that as well. And let me see.
Doing a lot of rescheduling. I would fair to add.
Yeah.
Spring is pretty much everything is pushed to possible late summer and the rest of the year.
Yeah. So, I mean, outside of rescheduling, how should they be attracting new clients, or should they be thinking about attracting new clients, or not, or potentials?
And that's for those type of photographers. Maybe they would, if they're getting the shutter bug and want to shoot something new right now, you might consider shooting inanimate objects and possibly building a portfolio repertoire of that type of, whether it's product or something else, things you can offer as stock photography. That could be a way to enhance your portfolio. So we're gonna move on. There's something for
be out shooting landscape stuff, since they can do that by themselves.
Absolutely. Sunshine, sunsets, and sunrise in a unique way that only you can capture. Cool.
Yeah.
Next industry. I won't pick on any particular company in this industry, but you might have some insights. What should the airline industry be doing, or travel? Right now,
man, the airline industry is hurting. They're hurting right now. But right now, they should be looking at what is happening in other countries. Here's the thing. The thing is, with this industry, they are. It's going to come back. Hopefully, it snaps back overnight. But we'll be looking at destinations where people are going. They should be talking to their customers. Obviously, those that had scheduled trips and that kind of thing, absolutely letting them reschedule for free. I'm sure that all of them are doing that, and letting them move back their trips and trying to just make it easier for people to reschedule. Like, rescheduling is important there for photographers and for airlines as well, to reschedule their trips and to keep them on. And even if, giving people their money back and those kinds of things to kind of just build up the goodwill, because people are going to be traveling, but maybe they might need their money back, where it might have been a penalty before if you canceled a trip, to not give their money back, but to give it back to them now. Like that is what I would advise, but that would also build goodwill. Most of them have their digital lives in order. You can book pretty easily and schedule pretty easily and those kind of things. But they should be building customer goodwill.
And communicating those
communicating
to their customers through social media and other outlets. Good stuff. I also want them to be as transparent about those baggage fees too. That would create a lot of goodwill.
Or just waive them, period. Just waive them altogether.
What if I were a fitness trainer working out a regional, local, or your own establishment, and you're used to training folks, getting them in shape in person, and now all of that is gone in an instant? What could I be doing right now to help right now as well as in the future?
if you were a fitness trainer, and then you need to be developing what people could be doing staying at home exercises and putting those out on video, putting those out in an app possibly that people can download. But you need to be figuring out how I can communicate this online, right? I don't think I would dare say that the Pelotons of the world are not suffering at this particular moment. They built their business model around you being on the bike, you being on that bike at home, and them conveying this via the TV screen, in front of you that's on your bike. And there are others that have kind of done that. So they need to be learning from that, and possibly taking it a step further. And that is, can you make that available to people on their phones where they can do it in the park? And that is, would be via some sort of app or something like that, where they can certainly be doing those kind of things. But there is absolutely, people can do this from home. Fitness trainers should be doing that, kind of creating that distance learning master classes and those kind of things, and that and stuff like that. So anything you got to add to that?
No, I think you nailed it. The club my family attends, they did something pretty cool. They sent out a link to a distance learning class that is free to members. And so you don't have to pay anything. It keeps us engaged. And I'm not sure if this content was available before now, but the fact that they were able to come up with something fairly quickly. And if you actually get into it, you'll get a good workout in. So definitely putting in some type of things that you can continue long after COVID is gone.
Right. All right. Well, what about Dennis? What would you do if you were consulting with a dentist right now?
Well, again, I may have mentioned this the other day. Dentists, their work is difficult to do virtually. So you have to have some folks show up in your office, although they have been counseled to stop your regular procedures outside of surgical procedures, to put those on hold. So definitely comply with that. But I would definitely encourage them to, now's a good time to start a YouTube channel and educate, talk about healthcare of the mouth. And people get time, they're going to run out of other things to watch. And if you make it somewhat exciting or interesting and engaging, I'm sure a lot of value will go toward that, and you can position yourself as a subject matter expert. And if done correctly within the part with having your social media and your other other digital marketing tools rather lined up correctly, people can find you who may have never had known that you was there locally after we come out of this shutdown. So definitely get your distance learning up.
Got it. Cool. What about car dealers and mechanics? What can they be doing?
Wow. Mechanics is going to be difficult. But if they connect, often dealerships have their service areas. And if they could show their value by teaching people, not necessarily so much about their vehicles, but about vehicles in general, and hold some classes online, if you will, or just putting a lot of good information about gas mileage, about technology and how things are made, and how to select cars, especially for college students or high school students, new drivers, things like that, older drivers, and things that they should be looking for. I think, again, this is the information age, and just because you have a hardcore product that's sitting on a lot waiting for people to walk by, you should also, as a dealer, think about how do you sell your products online, like others have created whole new businesses to do. And if you're a local dealership and have not done that, here's a great opportunity for you to, jump in and do that while you have an audience looking for content.
And some of the other, looking at what some other people have done in there, they have actually continued to have test drives, right? They have figured out, some auto dealers have figured that they can validate and verify through an app who a driver is, their ID and that kind of thing, set a car out, or take it to their home. They can test drive it and they can come back and get it, in a specific amount of time, and then clean the car, do that kind of thing, and then do it again. So auto dealers, there are things that you can be doing to allow people to still go about and make those buying decisions. They may not be buying right now, but they're pushing their buying decisions out a little bit, right? But we have seen in the Google Trends that they are not, that the searching for them has not gone down necessarily. Just the buying decision has been pushed out a little ways.
Cool. I want to say hi to those who are just joining us. We are talking, playing a game, if you will, role playing on If We Were Your Consultant. Here's some quick advice that may apply to you. And we appreciate Don joining us, Dr. Erica for joining us. What's up, Bruce, my cousin, for joining us, fam? We'll keep it moving with if I were an educator or even a principal of a school, say a private school. What besides currently dealing with my students that are in class now, and what else could we be doing to ensure the survival of our school?
Well, so obviously they are using some sort of technology. They are trying to teach and finish out this particular school year with Zoom and other Google Classroom. If Zoom is too expensive, I think Google is providing their classroom tool for free. They should be doing that. Most importantly, the principals and the headmasters should be communicating with their parents, and they should be finding a way to do some distance learning. How do I take some of these classes for seniors and for juniors and make some of these classes available to them online? Because this may happen again. How much of this can we help our teachers to teach and put on video? How much of that can they do? Are they recording their sessions now so that in the future, if they had to do the same lesson, 1 + 1 is going to be 2 always. If you're a math teacher and you're teaching that particular lesson in chapter 13, section 2, you can teach that on video and have that available in the event that this ever happens again, or when somebody gets sick or took one of your students or any of that. So this time is not lost time, and particularly if you are recording your lessons and your sessions, they won't go to waste. You will be able to use them again in another time at some other point. So Bruce has asked, what about financial planners? Russ, what do you think financial planners should be doing at this particular time?
Well, I think it's funny how we call some skill sets as essential, and it's rightly so when you think of healthcare and those who are helping to get our food and those types of things. But financial planning is really close behind that, in the sense that people are worried and concerned about what do they do with their 401ks and their savings, and seeing, the volatility of the market. So if you're a financial planning consultant, your services are definitely needed. And if people don't know about you, definitely get your digital wheelhouse, your toolbox together, be seen, be listed, those type of things, but put out free information that would draw people in so that they would do Zoom conferences with you, and you can still keep your business floating even if you never meet them in person. You can do everything digitally, but definitely put out teasers, tweet, Instagram, talk about it, expose what people may be afraid of and going through right now. But what should they be doing? Should they be snatching their money out the market or investing and these types of things? Definitely, it's your mind is needed right now. And
I would also encourage them to do some 30-day challenges, right? So which would engage people, like 30 days to get your financial house in order, right? Or whatever that is. And what are those steps that they need to be doing in order to do that? Some value that you can be providing them. What should they be thinking about? What if they have kids that were that they're going to college next year. What should they be doing? This information is still relevant and valuable to them. Or if they have kids that are young, how does this set them back, in their plan, in their 504s or whatever it is, those, like what should they be doing? How do they survive this crisis financially, and then how do they build on that? And that information that you give to them is information that they will need. And again, you're planting those seeds that will flourish when this is over, because people are online and they're looking for information. So it's important to be able to get that out there. And then once this is over, then they certainly will remember you.
Yeah, you will be. They'll bookmark you. They will tell friends about you.
Right.
Help them to get over mental. A lot of fear is from the unknown. So if you can demystify that from a financial perspective, that helps people out dramatically. Let me throw in this one, and you see a lot of this. A lot of folks are already sharing their talents and their skill set, who are artists. Whether it's fine arts or musical arts, but those who are doing that for a living, actors, what could they be doing right now since Hollywood is shut down? All of your smaller productions are everything is, taking a breather. How can they either stay sharp, build their audience, prepare for what comes next, and even survive now?
Well, a lot of them, some of the things that you could be doing, all the books in the world aren't read. That's the first thing. I think that's one of the things. I got some ideas, right? So if you wanted to hold story times for children, people this is what you do, right? So, hey, build a following. This dude babysat my kids, reading stories to them while, and made it fun, during this shutdown. Those things, again, build goodwill. So, and you can keep your skills sharp by reading stories, right? To the kids. That's one way to do it. There are also there's voice talent and voice, those kind of things that are still going on, even though we're in this time. Products are still, they're trying to advertise and try to figure out how they can reach their customers even while you're at home. So any of that experience that you're using that you can do while you're home, or you can videotape it and record it. You can certainly do, because again, you can get away with a lot more things now by recording with your phone and those things that put them out there. We got a lot more leeway now because everybody knows that you're home, so you can definitely stay sharp in front of the camera. You got any ideas?
No, I was just thinking, just to add to that, if you were hesitant on building your own recording studio, now's the time to do it, as you were saying. For those who are musicians, and for musicians and writers, write and create music. And
put it out. Like, you can put it out. Like,
Yes.
releasing albums. There's several artists that have released albums during this time of their experience of what they're going through now. They're using this as fuel, to put out something that is good, and you can release it. All the platforms are still available online. You can release them and make your albums available in a digital format, and people will, certainly go and look at that, because we are here. We ain't got nothing, we ain't got a whole lot else to do, right? We just don't. So
Here's one that may be difficult. I don't know. If I were a barber, or a hairdresser, and I've got to come in contact with folks in order to do their hair. And I say this, I heard a story of a barber contracting COVID-19 and passed away.
Oh, wow.
Because he was actually making house calls.
Okay.
So it's like what to do and what not to do. Right.
I think that is one of the tough ones, where you do have to come in contact with people. House calls is like, that was a way to do it, maybe, I would think about that, like, okay, but then really, what area are you living in? What do you actually, how much risk do you want to put yourself in, right? that's one of those things that you have to figure out how to mitigate that risk. And if you can't, then okay, one, again, is your digital life in order? You have a barber shop. How can you schedule people to come in later, not now when this is over? I think, they've given us 2 weeks at this point. Can you push it out 2 weeks? What does that look like? Your online presence needs to be in order. Some educating. Hey, teach people how to cut their hair at home. How do you do it? What's a good fade look like? What are the tools necessary to make a good fade, or how do you do it? What are you thinking about when you're cutting your own hair? Like, how do you do that, right? Because everybody can cut their hair forever. So if you can educate them and you can plant the seed, then obviously they, when it opens again, maybe you do lose one or two people that decide, hey, I can cut my own hair, or I decide to shave my head now. But
you're right.
But then,
I think that's going to be the minority. I think they may find more respect for you.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Everybody, they not want to cut their own hair. Like, one, it doesn't look as good as it does when I go to the barber, and two, I ain't got time to do that.
And I would throw in prepare for the rush.
Yes.
Because once the gates are open, folks are definitely coming your way. I think we got a couple more questions. Personal trainers using Zoom.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes. Yep. That's a good platform. That's getting a lot of promo these days. And I would they switch some things up where you will need a password and that type of thing. That should help with keeping your Zoom from being hacked. So Zoom is a good platform. There's others out there, but totally agree.
What are some of the essential services? I think people are questioning what is essential anymore. What are those things outside of grocers and medical and those, like, before you thought you were essential, and
not so much.
Maybe not. I don't. Maybe.
Yeah, well, not essential to be in the office.
In the office space, yeah,
right. And working together with people, everything is done so remotely. Banks are still considered essential, where people have to go in. Between your money, your food, and your health, it doesn't get on that. Everything else kind of.
Yeah, very true.
We get time for a few more.
Very true. Yeah, let's go. What about realtors? I'm gonna
table this one because that's a whole restaurant. What about
realtors?
Realtors. Oh, wow. Just like we've been saying, and everything for us kind of starts with, if you're going to be doing things online, then make sure you're engaging with folks. Because realtors, it's really a people business. So you got to get to know people, and you have a pipeline that you can begin to stack and build your connections and your framework. And you can do that online without physically showing people homes. Now, those who are ready to buy right now, and I think this is a buyer's market, and it'll continue to grow to be a buyer's market. You can kind of find out who they are online, start some groups. We mentioned this in a previous show, that begin to fill them out, and then educate on people what to look for, how to prepare to buy a home, connect with other folks in the financial sector, those who are in the mortgage industry, and partner on a Zoom or a webinar and talk about the market and where it's going and what to look for both, first-time buyers as well as investors. There's a lot that you can be doing, creating content that's of value, make you stand out above others who are in the same area, and show your knowledge of an area. as well. And you can do things if you can learn or find an editor or someone who can find images and video that's already in existence of the location that you're at, and create maybe some virtual tours of the town or the city that you're in.
Yeah, they have 3D tours now that maybe weren't as big before, but certainly now, if you had a 3D tour of homes, that would be good. And this will be a good time to do it. There's not a lot of people out and around and about, so it'd be good to offer or to have a virtual tours of homes and do that in 3D. Some of the 3D cameras that are out there.
Right.
So. Absolutely. I think we talked about restaurants, but is there, restaurants, what just briefly, what can they be doing?
Well, if they haven't noticed already, and my heart goes out to them,
yes,
because they've taken a brunt of it, and there's a chain reaction to that. You have a lot of food from farmers that are actually going bad because they can't. The pipeline that usually goes to restaurants, they're not there anymore, but they need to seriously consider their business model of making, if they can withstand and manage to stay in business through this, just through takeout and pickup and the delivery services, they should move a lot of it to online where people can order it and it be delivered, make the person's experience online a lot more seamless when ordering, and talk about food. Again, education, if you are very closely touched to what you present to your cuisine, then you can talk about through a YouTube channel or a podcast or whatever, how food gets from here to, from the farm to your plate. There's lots of things that people want to know about. And so
certainly is your drive-through open. These are things that you should be communicating via your Google My Business listing. Do you have takeout? Is the drive-through open? What are the hours that it's open? Are you limiting hours? Or if people can come in and pick up, and they just can't dine in. Like there's certainly restaurants that are doing that as well. So, what makes sense for your business, but the most important thing is for you to be able to communicate that to your customers so that they know what's happening, and be able to find you and find the information that you have as you when they are looking for it. But if you're a chef and you're catering or something like that, be teaching.
Yeah.
Hey, how do you make this dish? How do you make it at home? What ingredients do you need? What ingredients do you absolutely positively have to have that you don't need? Like these are definitely times for people to be that they're at home cooking more than ever. They got the time and they're looking for recipes, right? And then you find ways to maybe get these recipes on the Amazon platform and Alexa got video on there, so you can do that. Like there are definitely ways to develop a cookbook. I
was gonna say now's the time to write that cookbook.
Yeah, absolutely. Write the cookbook and do it like one recipe at a time. Today we're gonna talk about this, and boom, recipe, and then you send them to download the recipe, and so now you're building a list. And so there are definitely ways for you to be doing those kinds of things. The most important thing here is always, for all of them, any of them, is to, hey, you know what? Be providing value. Understand where people are and provide them value. And as much value as you can provide, it's going to return to you, exponentially, because they will remember you in this time. This is the time to be providing value to people, understanding where they are, and then. And because it's not about the money, really. It's not about the money, but money will be a result, or but it's not about the money right now. Empathy and understanding and value information,
sharing your gifts,
sharing your gifts,
knowledge, sharing your experience. And there's plenty of tools out there as we've been sharing, and you can find in many of our other shows that we have. And then there's lots of free stuff out there, and lots of experts around that you should have at your table to help guide you through this. Definitely. I think that's about it for today.
All right. Well, we appreciate you joining us. As we said at the top of the show, if you have a business and it is a brick and mortar business that is up and running, then we have something special for you. This is the time for you to get your digital doorway in order. And in order to do that, you really kind of need to know where you are. And so the tool that we have for you is a business snapshot. It's a 360-degree look at your business, and you can go and get that snapshot. It is a free look. It will give you information about everything from your website to your listings, to your reputation. What are people saying about you online? How is your Google My Business listing? What does that look like? And your SEO, if you have retargeting pixels and that kind of thing. It'll answer a whole bunch of questions that needs to be answered. And then you will find out ways to get these things fixed so that when the rush starts on the other side of this, that you are in a position to benefit from it, because you didn't spend this time fearing that you would not make it through, but preparing for what was on the other side. And so go to onthebrinkmarketinggroup.com/snapshot and get your free snapshot 360-degree look at your business today. And if you do that today, the next 10 businesses that do that will get a 30-minute session with us where we will help you to get these things in order and to pivot your business and to be ready, prepared for what is to come. And that session is valued at $250. So a free snapshot and a free $250 session to help you plan, strategy session to help you plan, is what we are offering and what we are doing to help businesses make it through this time, so that they are not on the brink of extinction, but they are definitely on the brink of distinction. And we want to help you. And this is what we can do.
Absolutely. Sounds great. Sounds great. One last thought.
You got it, buddy. Tomorrow is Q&A Friday.
What you say?
Tomorrow is Q&A Friday.
Tomorrow is Q&A Friday. So if you have questions, we appreciate those who have thrown and shared your questions. You can feel free definitely to hit George and I up on the Brink OTBMG LLC Facebook page, or go to our website as previously given, and it's scrolling at the bottom of your screen, and reach out to us. Inbox me if you know me. If you know George, we definitely will get back to you.
Absolutely. Coming up next week, what else we got coming up next week? We got some guests coming up next week.
Some guests coming up next week that we will give them shouts out tomorrow.
All right.
But we got some dealing with mental health. We want all of you, whoever's watching this, to be in the best shape you can be in coming out of COVID-19. And that's not just physical, that's a mental preparedness. So we'll be speaking on that. And on the physical, we're dealing with some folks who own businesses and brands that have been servicing folks and using the social media platform and other areas. And they'll talk to us about what's working well for them and where they may have some pain points. So definitely join us. We'll be giving shouts out tomorrow on who to expect. And if you want to be a guest, hit us up.
People conduct more than 3.5 billion searches every day on Google. How do you make sure they see your business? The secret is with search engine optimization, SEO for short. SEO is about getting your website seen on search engines like Google. Good search rankings are important because consumers see the top results as the most trustworthy. Studies show that the first 5 search results on Google get nearly 70% of all clicks, and a whopping 75% of local mobile searches result in a store visit within 24 hours. If you aren't showing up at the top, you're missing out. So, what can you do? Make sure your website is mobile friendly and loads fast. Provide information on your website that is relevant to your customers. Ensure your Google My Business page is claimed and verified. Create and promote a blog on your site that offers helpful content to customers. Stop hiding from your customers. Start your SEO strategy today.
At lunchtime.
All right, we'll see you. Thanks for joining us.
Have a good one. Be productive.